Hey, sorry. Um, let's see. I went on to Lansing, and what did I do today? I asked my state senator's office if they're hiring. Asked at the Capitol if they were hiring. Um, I asked. I went to my representative, my state rep, to ask the same question, but no one was there. I don't know if it was lunch or maybe they're still on holiday. I thought they'd be done by now, but some people just want a holiday forever, um, or a lot, or more than, I don't know. It seems like a lot. Um, so I slid a resume under the door of that one. Then once I was done with that, so that was the House of Representatives. When I went downstairs, the police officers, they were like, because I thought they were customer service folks at first, but no, they're just police officers. So they were like, um, check the House Gov website. So I did, and there's one position which maybe I could become qualified for, but it expires in 4 days. But I might be able to do it. I just got to figure out, do I want that? Because again, I got to get a part-time job, satisfy my probation officer. I don't need money at the moment. My expenses are low, and I built up savings from when I was on house arrest. So this is just to satisfy the probation officer. So given that, I'm trying to find a job which is better than the fast food because I don't that if I'm gonna be stuck somewhere, if I get a job, I probably don't want to leave for like maybe a couple months, right? It seems rude to leave, get a job, and leave like a few days later, right? So what I'm looking for is something that is few hours as possible, because all I need is part time, anything, but also something that is um, better, the best possible thing I could plug into my schedule at the moment. And I'm willing to do more hours if the cause or the work is good and worthy work and better than what I'd be spending my time on otherwise. Um, so I went out and dropped those things off. Um, Everyone, well, like I said, the police officers, the Senate office, also um, the Capitol, they all pretty much directed me to the internet. So I went to different websites and looked there and sent emails out and sent email to another possible climate organization that might either have volunteer work or can direct me to some place that might possibly. Let me check my emails real quick. Yeah, nothing there. I did send in that rap I mentioned before to the Sustainability Commission committee, whatever, for the city of Lansing. I've done that through an email that I rarely use for email, so I haven't checked that for a while. Everything else that I just did today was today, so no response yet. But that one Sustainability Committee, I haven't checked back on that, and I think part of why I haven't is because I didn't think that that would count towards my community service. I thought it would just be something extra, and so I'm mostly focused on getting that stuff done. But now that I think about it, maybe it would count towards community service. Maybe it would count towards being a reputable organization fighting climate change. Um, Maybe I'd have to ask my probation officer. In which case, I should look at that email or see if it even exists. A response to that. Oh right, and when I went to the library to do the emails and all that other stuff, I was downtown at the time because I was already down there. Picked up this book. I used to read this like I don't know how long ago it was, at least 10 years ago. Um, and I tried earlier, since coming back here, to get the second book and jump right into that because I used to think that you could just jump right into the second book. You don't need the first one. But I tried jumping into the second book and it was like I realized I needed to jump into the first one because I didn't know or care about these people. So that it started off with or this person or whatever. So I was like, All right, I will bring that back, and then next time I'll try getting the first one. And this time, I was there. I got the first one, and the first one I'm getting it now. It makes more sense. Um, the beginning, skipped over that a little bit. Just environment set up. I've read it before, but so I'm not really thoroughly reading left to right, page one to end. Although, after I skip that beginning, it does seem like I've mostly done that. I've skipped a little bit. Stale sense. Um, yeah, so this is pretty good. I used to think the first book wasn't necessary even. I used to think you could skip it. And now that I'm reading it again, and so after so long that I get it, because now I've read the whole series, right? And I used to think, why is this first book even here? We should just skip right to the end. But I get why it's here now, because I've got the foresight and I'm reading it again, and I know the ending and how it plays out, and I see the themes that it's trying to put out there and have us think about, even though they're with characters that you would think, which are, I think, maybe all entirely made up, but it kind of gets to themes that go on later in the book when they bring in, Siddhartha himself and his journey. And some of the parables, I think, in here are ones, at least the first one here, that are either similar to what Buddha was preaching or were stories that he shared before, I think. It's interesting. There's a lot of setting up for his birth and whatnot. I'm curious about, like, is it just a parent's responsibility to talk about all these wondrous signs? Or is that something that just actually happened? Or are you, as a parent, like, I want my kid to be a great person, so I'm going to say, or maybe that's something done after the fact. Like relatives saying, like, oh, he's immaculate conception, right? Or white light shone from the skies when he was born, and all the animals came and gathered, and John the Baptist paved the way. These sorts of things that Jesus, and it looks like in this book at least, Siddhartha or Buddha had going on for them, that gives them more aura. And maybe it's cynical of me to think that way, but come on. It's interesting. They mention, I could keep talking about this, but we're going over time. They keep talking about, like, how, the religious order at the time, and people would say bad things would happen, and people would say pray to gods, and then the book's like, but did that solve their problems? And so Buddha's going to come along and solve their problems is the thing. What he suggests is, to me, kind of leaning near Nietzsche or nihilism, but not completely necessarily. But I guess for back then, maybe it makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, I'm still over time. I gotta go.